Hello friends, welcome to class. I'm Mel and I'll be leading you through our short hip flexor and hamstring flow class. And today we'll be doing a stacked format, which just means between each flow we will be adding onto our sequence. And that way you can practice deepening your poses and you can just let my voice guide you. So let's start in our Sukhasana, our easy pose, starting with our legs crossed and then lengthening the spine by reaching our heart high, rolling our shoulders back and down. And then we're just gonna add some light circles with our body. So moving our chest forward and then pulling our shoulders back as we come. And then our second circle, we're gonna start to add some neck movement, waking up the neck, looking up. And then adding our breath for the third circle, focusing in, inhaling one direction and exhaling the other. And after those three, we're gonna start to shift to the other direction. Again, focusing, pushing our chest forward, pulling our shoulders back, and then adding the neck movement up and down. And honing in on the breath, inhaling forward and exhaling back. And then stopping there, and then we're just gonna make our way into our first downward dog of the class. So just put our hands on our front of our mat and then move our feet out to the side, come into our tabletop position, and then right away lifting our hips up, pushing back into our downward dog, making sure that our hips, our feet, are about hip distance apart and our gaze is in between our legs. And beginning to bring our awareness back to our breath, equalizing our inhales and exhales. And let's go ahead and start to widen our feet just about the distance of our mat and then walk our hands about a foot closer to our feet. And now we're going to do our first hamstring stretch of the day. Go ahead and start to lift your left hand up off the mat and then reach for your opposite ankle, or you can move it a little bit higher up just below your knee, whichever feels good today. And then start to bring your gaze up and underneath your shoulder and take a few light breaths there. And on your next exhale, go ahead and release your left hand back down to the front of the ground, and then start to lift your right and reach for the opposite foot. So our left foot, or again, underneath the knee. And then bring your gaze under our shoulder and making sure our weight's distributed evenly in between both of our feet. One more breath. And go ahead and release the right hand back down. Walk our hands back down into our downward dog and bring those feet hip distance apart. And we're gonna start to do two flows. So let's look to the front of our mat, bend our knees, and then walk all the way up to our hands. And let's inhale, halfway lift. Go ahead and put your hands on your shin. Push your chest away, flat back. Exhale, lower the chest, relax the spine, look underneath us. And then bend our knees, wave our hands up to the sky, reach up, look up to our hands, engage our core. Exhale, lower our hands beside our waist into our Tadasana. Let's inhale, reach our hands back up to the sky. Take your gaze up. Exhale, float back down to the earth. Reach down, fold over our legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Push our chest away, flat back. This time, exhale, walk our feet back one at a time into our plank pose. And for our first chaturanga, we're just gonna do it from our knees. So lower our knees down onto the ground. This time lowering, exhale, chaturangaing all the way down until our chest lands on the ground. And then we're gonna flip our feet, baby cobra, lift our chest, squeeze our glutes together. And then exhale, come back through downward dog. Perfect. For our next flow, we're gonna be doing it from our toes. It's gonna be a little bit more of a challenging flow. So you pick what feels right for you today. Let's bend our knees, look to the front, and then hop our way up nice and light on the feet. Inhale, halfway lift. You can keep your fingertips on the ground if that feels good to you. Just make sure you have your flat back. Exhale, fold over top. And then bend the knees, reach to the sky. Inhale, exhale, lower the hands by your hips, Tadasana. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees, hop back into our plank right away. Chaturanga halfway down. Keep those elbows tight to the body. Inhale, upward facing dog. Flip the feet, reach the heart high. Take the gaze up. Exhale, flip the feet, push back into downward facing dog. Let's take a breath here. You can pedal out your feet if you want to. Equalizing the inhales and exhalations. And now we're gonna start adding onto our sequence. Let's lift the right leg high. Make sure those toes are pointing down. Just take a peek back at them. And then curl our right knee in towards our chest and step our right foot in between our legs. And then drop the back knee, relax the top of the back foot, and then start to bring our right hand towards the inside of our right foot. And then push our right foot to the outside edge of our mat, setting up for our lizard pose. So let's get really long in the spine, lengthen our body, and then start to pick up our right hand, and then we're gonna open up our chest towards the sky, reaching it high, and then adding a little bit of movement, maybe just bouncing the leg, and then pausing for a breath, maybe taking our gaze up to the sky. And then coming back to neutral lizard and picking up the back knee and stepping back into our plank, and then downward facing dog. And again, repeating on the left side, lifting up our left leg high, curling our knee in towards our chest, stepping forward, dropping the back knee, and releasing the top of the foot to the ground. Walk our left foot to the outside edge of our mat, and then lifting our left hand, pushing away our knee, looking up to the sky, and getting a small bounce, waking up the hip. Looking up, and stay still for one breath. Perfect. Let's bring our hand down, walk that foot back to neutral, pick up the back knee, step back to plank, downward facing dog. And we're gonna add the flow of your choice, bend the knees, hop or step to the front of your mat, inhale, halfway lift, exhale, fold, inhale, raise the hands, reach up to the sky, bring the drishti up, exhale, lower the hands towards the hip for Tadasana, inhale, rise, exhale, fold to the earth, inhale, halfway lift, exhale, jump back to Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, flip the feet, bring the heart high. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift the right leg high. Curl our knee in towards our chest, step forward, lower the back knee, relax the top of the foot. Walk our foot out and go ahead and push into that lizard. Looking up, getting a bounce, staying for a breath. And then bringing our hand down, this time lengthening the right leg, lifting our chest high into our half splits. Taking a breath here, really focusing on keeping the hips forward. Maybe we need to pull our hips just slightly to the right. And let's walk those hands forward, bend our front knee again, pick up the back leg and step back into our plank pose, downward facing dog. Lifting the left leg, following the same on the left side, step it forward, drop the back knee, relax the top of the foot, Walk to the outside, lift our left hand, resist the left leg, look up to the sky. Get that bounce. Maybe we can get a little deeper now and stay for a breath. And releasing our hands back down and coming straight into that half split pose, lengthening the spine, keeping control in our core, and focusing on our breath, releasing, maybe finding a little more intensity each exhale. And let's start to bend into that front leg. Pick up the back knee, stepping back into our plank pose, downward facing dog. And let's look to the front of our mat. Hop or step on up. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, maybe reaching back. Inhale, rise. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping or hopping back, chaturanga of your choice. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach the right leg high. Curl the knee in towards the chest, step a right foot forward, drop the back knee. Heading into the lizard with a little bit of a twist, bouncing into the leg and staying there for a moment. And then lowering back down into our half splits, reaching our chest forward. Can we get a little bit deeper? Maybe we can walk our hands forward. Maybe we can get our chest closer and deeper down. And releasing out of our half splits, we're gonna pick up the back knee into our runner's lunge here, and then right away heading into our crescent lunge. So really tighten your inner thighs together, pull up, grab your balance, reach on up towards the sky, and then we're gonna inhale, reach high, exhale, slight back bend, and reach back up again. Exhale, lower, frame the foot, step our right foot to meet our left into our plank, downward facing dog. Lift the left leg high, curl the knee in towards the chest, step the foot forward, drop the back leg. Pushing to the outside edge, giving it a little bit of twist in our lizard. Bouncing, adding movement, and then staying still. And coming into the half splits pose, lengthening our left leg, reaching our chest forward, really strong core. Can we get deeper? And then coming back into our lunge and stepping up into our runner's lunge, piercing those inner thighs together, and then coming up into our crescent lunge. And then we're going to back bend into our cactus arms, reach up, reach down. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, frame the foot, step the left foot to meet the right plank pose. Downward facing dog. Breath here. Let's look forward, bend our knees, step or hop to the front. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, sweep the hands up. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, reach the hands high. Exhale, dive. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hop or step back to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, flip the feet, reach the chest high. Exhale, downward facing dog. And last movement that we're gonna add on today, lift the right leg high, curl the knee in towards the chest, step the foot forward, drop the back knee, and moving into the side lizard. And coming into the half splits pose. Last half splits, just really deep in this. Notice the change in our hamstrings after they've been warmed up. Let's bend the knee again and head straight into the crescent pose, reaching our hands high and cactusing. Slight back bend. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, frame the feet just for a moment. And this time we're going to step our back foot in about a foot and then start to straighten the front leg. You can keep a slight bend in it into our pyramid pose. So I like to come high up on my fingertips to really get a long back here. And option 2, we're gonna walk over to the outside edge of our right foot. And then if it feels comfortable for you, we're gonna start to revolve our pyramid. This is gonna be a really deep stretch. So I like to hang on to my hip with my right hand and then start to rise it ever so slowly. And catch that balance. Try and bring our gaze all the way up. Deep breaths. Maybe we can get a smile in here. And lower the right hand. Walk it, our left over. Bend that front knee again. Step our left leg back into our runner's lunge. And step right knee to left, plank pose. Downward facing dog. Let's lift that left leg high. Curl our knee in towards our chest. Step our left foot forward, drop the back knee. And move our foot to the outside edge of our mat. Pick up our left hand, use that resistance. Bounce for a second, and then find your stillness. Moving into our half splits on the left leg. Deepening. Doing what feels good today. Noticing any differences between each side. And then bending into that front knee again. And then picking up the back leg, setting up for our crescent lunge, reaching our hands all the way up. Exhaling, cactus those arms, light back bend. Inhale, reach back up again. Exhale, frame the feet into our runner's lunge. And then step the back leg in about a foot, and then start to lengthen the front leg and get high on those fingertips into our pyramid. And if you challenge yourself on the other side, why not try this side? Notice if your balance is any different. So walk our right hand over to the edge of our left foot, and then pick up our left hand, maybe bring it to our hip, start to get that twist motion. And then once we feel like we've got our balance, go ahead and pick up that left hand, reach up to the sky, twisting all the way up, maybe bringing our gaze. And then focusing back onto our breath. And then lowering that hand, walking the right hand back in between our foot, and step that right foot back into our runner's lunge, and step left to meet right, plank. And last downward facing dog of the day. Take a breath here. Let's inhale together. Exhale, sigh it out. And then let's lower our knees. And we're gonna take a child's pose, our last position of the class. I'm gonna keep my knees nice and tight together, but feel free to take a wide child's pose if that feels good for you. So just lowering onto our heels and walking our hands forward, and then relaxing the top of our head down to the ground. And honing back in on our breath. And reflecting on our practice, noticing how we feel different from the start of class, mentally, physically, maybe even emotionally. Thank you for joining my class today. I hope you feel really amazing, and I hope the rest of your day is fantastic. Peace, Shanti, Shanti, Om, and gratitude. Namaste.